Can you use a celebrity's name or likeness in your film, in your podcast, or in an advertisement? Well, you shouldn't do that without understanding the right of publicity, because if you don't, there certainly will be lawsuits or problems that will follow. I'm Scott Hervey, a partner with the law firm of Weintraub Tobin, and I am joined today again by my partner, Richard Buckley, and we are going to talk about the right of publicity, an always hot issue in entertainment, on today's installment of The Briefing. Richard, welcome back. This is our fourth installment of the refresher series here. And today we're talking about right of publicity. So, all right, let's jump right into it. The right of publicity protects an individual's name, image, and likeness, and sometimes even voice or signature from being used commercially without their consent.
Unlike copyright or trademark law, the right of publicity is grounded in privacy and property interests. It gives people, especially public figures, control over how their persona is used.
Right. And also, unlike copyright law, it is purely based on state law. There is no federal right of publicity law. All right, let's talk about key legal elements. So, okay, to bring a claim for violation of right of publicity, a person generally must show that their identity was used. It was used for a commercial purpose, so generally in connection with the sale or advertisement of goods or services. It was used without consent, and it resulted in damages or unjust enrichment. This applies both to living individuals and, in many states like California, deceased personalities whose estates may maintain post-mortem publicity rights.
There are many notable cases, but one of the classics is White versus Samsung, Vanna White. Samsung ran an ad with a robot dressed like Vanna White, turning letters on a game show set like Wheel of Fortune. Even though it wasn't her, the court found that the ad evoked her likeness without permission, and that violated her publicity rights.
Other great examples are two cases that set the framework for sound-alike cases. The first was Midler versus Ford, and the second was Tom Waits versus Frito-Lay. Both cases involved the use of a sound-alike singer singing a song in the style of those artists in a television commercial or in two TV commercials. Both cases held that when a voice is a significant indica of a celebrity's identity, like think Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, the right of publicity protects against its imitation for commercial purposes without the celebrity's consent.
So, what about biopics or documentaries? Here, the First Amendment comes into play.
Right. If the use is part of an expressive work, that use may be protected, especially if it's newsworthy or if it's transformative. Courts often apply the transformative use test that was seen in the case Comedy 3 Productions versus Satirup, where the California Supreme Court said that the First Amendment doesn't protect literal reproductions of celebrity images used in merchandise.
AI-generated voices and faces are raising new issues. If you generate a synthetic version of someone's voice or what we would call a deep fake of their likeness, you could run into publicity rights and false endorsement claims.
Several states have laws on the books to address this, and other states are updating their laws to address this. And we'll likely see more litigation around digital replicas in advertising, video games, and even virtual performances. All right, let's talk about some practical guidance. So here's the bottom line. Always get a release if you're using a person's identity for commercial purposes. Don't assume you can use a look-alike or a sound-alike without consequences. For expressive works, evaluate with your lawyer whether the use is permitted. And keep an eye on evolving state law, especially around digital likeness and postmortem rights. So thanks again to my co-host, Richard. Richard, always great to have your insights. And thank you, our listener, for joining us on The Briefing. If you found this episode helpful or interesting, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share with your network. We'd also love to hear from you. So leave a comment or a review and let us know what topics you would like us to cover in future episodes. I'm Scott Hervey. I'll see you next time on The Briefing.